Imagine for a moment a peaceful night under the stars, the moon shining in its usual majestic, silent presence in the night sky. But tonight, something's different. A visitor from the farthest reaches of our solar system, a massive cosmic object, Halley's Comet, suddenly changes course. Instead of passing harmlessly by, it accelerates and heads straight for the moon. With speeds far beyond anything we can fathom, this icy wanderer is about to slam into Earth's closest neighbor, and the consequences could be far more devastating than we ever thought. Halley's Comet, famous for its periodic appearances, is no longer just a distant streak of light. It's about to become a cataclysmic force, one that could not only reshape the moon but change the Earth forever. So, what happens if this ancient, icy traveler crashes into the moon? How would our world be affected by such a cosmic event? Buckle up, because we're about to explore an impact event that could go down in history as one of the greatest collisions the solar system has ever seen. Let's begin with Halley's Comet itself. It's a giant ball of ice, rock, and dust, measuring about 15 kilometers long and 8 kilometers wide. That's almost the size of a small city. But size isn't even the most startling thing about this celestial object. Halley's Comet travels through our solar system at a staggering speed, about 70 kilometers per second. That's more than 200 times faster than a bullet shot from a high-powered rifle. The sheer speed of the comet means that, if it collided with the moon, the energy released would be beyond comprehension. When you consider this, the devastation from this collision would be far worse than anything we've experienced. Imagine the impact. Imagine the shock waves radiating out from the point of collision. The force would be so great, it could send debris flying into space, and even create a temporary second sun in the sky, as light from the collision outshines even the moon's usual glow. A cosmic event like no other. Now, let's paint the picture. The comet, moving at over 200 times the speed of a bullet, slams into the moon's surface. The sheer force of the collision would cause a massive explosion that would be visible from Earth. For a moment, the moon would glow brighter than the sun, releasing an intense burst of light. But this would not be a soft, gentle explosion. No, this is an impact that would send shockwaves racing through the entire moon. The impact would create a crater so large that it would dwarf anything we've ever seen on the moon. To put it into perspective, imagine a whole thousands of kilometers wide. Something that would swallow cities and entire landscapes in one fell swoop. This massive crater would permanently scar the moon, leaving a visible mark for generations to come. And all around this crater, the surface of the moon would be fractured and fractured again, as if the moon itself were cracking under the stress of the impact. The resulting explosion could throw a massive amount of debris into space, sending chunks of lunar rock and ice scattering far and wide. These fragments could even remain in orbit around the moon, forming a temporary ring system, which would forever change how we view our nearest celestial companion. But what would be the lasting effects on the moon itself? The immediate destruction of the surface would be apparent. The moon, as we know it, would be forever altered. The immense heat generated by the impact would vaporize parts of the comet and the moon's crust, sending plumes of vapor and gas into space. The moon would likely be left with a huge scar, a massive hole in its surface, and even the potential for permanent instability beneath. The physical structure of the moon could change, too. We might see cracks and fractures spreading from the point of impact, causing aftershocks and seismic activity that could continue for years. Its orbit might even shift, altering how the moon moves in relation to Earth. If the impact was powerful enough, It could cause the moon to drift away from Earth or change its trajectory, gradually weakening the gravitational pull that stabilizes our planet's rotation. Such a dramatic event could lead to a massive release of energy that might even cause the moon to break apart in some areas, with pieces of the lunar surface launching into space. Imagine a new field of debris orbiting the Earth, creating an entirely new hazard for satellites and space stations. Even the most distant space missions could be at risk, as the sudden influx of debris could make space navigation and exploration more dangerous. But the moon isn't just a barren rock in space. It's an essential part of life on Earth. The gravitational pull of the moon influences everything from ocean tides to our planet's axial tilt, stabilizing the seasons. If the moon's orbit were altered, even slightly, the effects on Earth could be catastrophic. Without the moon, Earth's axial tilt could vary wildly, causing extreme temperature changes and possibly even throwing Earth's climate into chaos over long periods of time. The tides, which play a crucial role in marine life, would become far less predictable. Some coastal regions might face extreme flooding, while others might experience droughts as the delicate balance between land and sea shifts dramatically. Marine ecosystems would be thrown into disarray, causing long-term damage to the ocean's fragile food chains. And let's not forget about the impact on Earth's night sky. The absence of the moon, or the formation of a new ring system around it, would radically change how we see the sky. Instead of the familiar, steady glow of a waxing or waning moon, we might be left with a sky full of dust and debris, perhaps a distant reminder of the comet that reshaped our world. In the aftermath of such a cosmic collision, the moon would be forever scarred. The landscape, once familiar, would now be a chaotic mess of broken rock and scattered debris. The long-term consequences would ripple through the solar system. The dust and debris from the impact could block sunlight for days, perhaps weeks, causing temporary changes in Earth's climate as well. It would be a constant reminder of how fragile our place in the universe really is. The collision would also open up new opportunities for lunar exploration. With the shattered surface of the moon, scientists would have unprecedented access to its interior. We could learn more about its composition and history than ever before. The moon, once a serene and stable companion, would become a laboratory for the unexpected, where the forces of the cosmos have torn away its secrets and left them for us to discover. In the end, the crash of Halley's Comet into the moon would be one of the most transformative events in our solar system's history. It would alter the face of the moon, disrupt life on Earth, and raise new questions about the fragility of our existence in this vast universe. But it would also serve as a reminder of the awesome, unpredictable power of the cosmos. We can never fully anticipate what the universe might throw our way, but one thing is for sure. When cosmic events like this happen, they leave an indelible mark on everything in their path. So, as we look up at the night sky, remember, the moon we see today could one day be a shadow of the moon that once was. But for now, it remains our faithful companion, silent, steady, and enduring. Until that day comes, let's appreciate the beauty and mystery of the moon, for who knows what the future may hold.